Hello, good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you to join our show tonight. Tonight's show is U.S. Presidential Wisdom: How to Achieve a Happy Life in America. Well, we all want to be happy. During this election time, a lot of people are feeling stressed. Too much information, too much disagreement, but in the same time, too much at stake for our country and for our people in America. So, I want to bring in a little bit of common sense approach, bring a few laughs to you as our audience. I want to thank you for watching. I know that no one in America, well, maybe Mr. Clinton or maybe Mr. Trump, but have all the answers to solve our issues in our society. So I'm going to bring a friend to just talk about a little bit what we know. But as you know, we are not politicians. We are just a common people just like you and me, just like all our family and friends. We know very little. None of our opinion matters. But as a concerned citizen of the United States, it's our shared responsibility to share our opinions, and more importantly, to vote for our election coming in November. I want to encourage you, regardless who you like, who you dislike, we're going to move forward regardless who is our next president of the United States. After the election, we must reunite our people in order for us to move forward, we're to work together, so that we can rise to the top and live a happy life in America. As an author of living in America for 40 years, I learned how to live a happy life by helping people. Regardless you're helping others or receiving help, you always live a happy life or happier life. When you have a positive attitude, you can encourage other people to have a positive thinking, change a negative impact to positive outcomes. You can live a little bit of a happier life. You can be patient, you can be passionate. When you are patient with your mentality, you can see the situation clear and capture that opportunity better with patience and overcome your obstacles with patience. When you are passionate with what you do, you might not like your job, you must learn how to love it. When you have passion in life, you're living in paradise. And Mr. Obama reminded us, yes, we can. Please believe in yourself, saying yes, we can. When you believe in yourself, say yes, we can. With a little plan, you find a lot of happiness. How can you be unhappy when you do one of those things once in a while? When you share our love with the ill, the love will come back in a stream of happiness. Am I right? When we improve ourselves one step each time, 1% each day, we find a lot of happiness. We don't have to hit the jackpot. After my cancer surgery, I can step out on my bed one step each time and improve myself 1% each day. I find a lot of happiness. Life may not be fair to us, but we must be fair in life. When you understand fairness better, we all can live a happier life. When you're learning and teaching with education, how can you be unhappy? So it's easy for us to say, it's hard for us to do, but whenever that we can do any one of these things, I can assure you, you can live a happier life, regardless who you are, what you do, and whenever you do it. Now, the interesting thing about is we have obstacles in our country. How can we live a happier life other than things that we cannot control by ourselves? Very interestingly, I came up with another acronym. I know I'm not a politician, I'm not a smart individual, but I like to observe. When you're taking care of the issue of homeland security, to improve our homeland security a little bit better, we feel safer, we feel happier. Look at affordable living, healthcare. When we are able to afford our living and healthcare, we find a little bit happier, happy life, right? That's H.A. A lot of people say, especially Mr. Trump say, we need political reform. Well, might be a good idea, might not be. I don't know, I'm not a politician. It's up to you to decide. That's why you need to go to vote. Another P is talk about peace and trade. A lot of those peace and trade, they work hand in hand. Where is money? When you do trading, you get peace. When you fight because they don't have what they want. So peace and trade is an object, is a objective we have to talk about. Now, yes, that's very important in America. When I come to this country at the age of probably 16 years old, you know what? I had a dream. I had an American dream. I want to come into America to live a happy life and help other people. I want our next generation, all elderly people, regardless of age, to have a dream, American dream. In order for us to live and achieve our American dream, we must to say no to drug. That is so important. Yes to American dream, no to drug in America. The next one, low taxes and more and better jobs. That's L. The I is immigration. There's no such thing as called reform in immigration. We can manage it. There's no such thing as immigration reform. So it's how you manage the immigrants. I was an immigrant. I brought a guest with me today. He's also an immigrant. And we'll talk about a little bit about immigration today so that we can understand what are the positive and what are the negative about immigration. And also the F, as we talk about when we are living, F is fairness. We want to have a fair and balanced society. That's our goal. Fair and balanced society. Education is never too old or too young to learn. I'm still learning. I have never get involved with politics, but I want to learn a little bit more about it so that I can help the people around me, make them feel a little bit more safer, healthier, happier. Now that is my goal. So the acronym Happy Life works personally and it also works in our country. So today's topic is U.S. presidential wisdom. I want to share my little 2 cents with you. You might not agree with me. I'm not asking for any agreement. We can disagree on anything that I said, but it helps us to think through a little bit better. We can disagree and agreeable. One of my very close family and friend, or more than one matter of fact, that said to me last week, when I was on my show, they disagree with what I said in many points. And also they said, you look desperate. Oh yes, I looked desperate last week for sure. I just had, cup surgery not long ago, and I'm having a little cold and I try to overcome it. So if I don't look very happy, please forgive me. I try to act happy. You say, act happy. What do you mean act happy? You know what? The old saying is that if you act like somebody for a long period of time, you become that person. So even though I'm not 100% happy, but if I act happy all the time and every time I can, then I become a happier person. Now that is the talking point of the night. No, I'm just kidding. I just want to make a point that you're going to laugh about me. I would rather be a clown that keep you happy than a senior professor that make you mad. So now let's get into a topic tonight. How can we achieve a happy life? I want to thank you and introduce our special guest. The reason I want to bring him, not only because he's an immigrant like myself, but he also has a very strong message that has been practiced in the last 10 years. And I'll let him tell you a little bit about it. Okay? Welcome, my friend, Mr. K.H.A.P.P.Y.L.I.F.E, Alex K.H.A.P.P.Y.L.I.F.E. Thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you so much for having me. First of all, what I'd like to do is I'd like to address you properly. I know your name is T.S. Chin, and almost everybody calls you Chin. However, I prefer T.S. I think that's a little bit more formal and gives you a little bit more respect. So T.S., as part of this respect I'm going to be giving you today, is that I'm going to start off by disagreeing with you. When we have a discourse, we grow. And so you gave a very detailed explanation of what makes a happy life. This November 15th, I'll have been married 36 years. And my wife has taught me in those 36 years. She said over and over and over again, happy wife, happy life. End of that story. I'm saying that facetiously, of course. There's many aspects of what makes a happy wife. And I try to keep her very happy, although we'll disagree on that point at some times as well. My story starts out right about at my birth. I am an immigrant to America because I was a refugee from the Holocaust. I arrived here December 20th, 1950 in New York Harbor with my father, who was a widower, and my twin brother. Times were very difficult for us, but through the years, we all managed. I like talking about immigration just because you and I had a long discussion about that at one time. I also like talking about immigration because it's a primary concern today. Many people are worried about what immigration might do today to our country. Very specifically, what Syrians might do to our country. We only have to look into our own history to discover what has been our role in immigration in the past. And the only thing I can say is that there really has been no plan. It's been very erratic. The general rule of thumb in the past has been, the last people in, we don't like them at all. At one time that was the Irish. At another time, T.S., that was the Italians. At another time, T.S., that was the Chinese. At another time, that was the Jews. Now, it's not popular to remember that last aspect, but I'll share a thought with you. Having an immigration problem today is very, very important. We all worry about it. We all worry about who can come in here to do us harm. And that's a good thing to be concerned about. But I will tell you, back in my day, Hitler posed a much greater threat. What ISIL or ISIS, or whatever you want to call this organization that pretends to be a religious organization, they're not. They're merely brutal terrorists. That is about the size of a carbuncle on your butt compared to what Hitler posed a couple of decades ago, a few decades ago. Hitler came this close to ruling the whole world. Hitler came this close to making sure that people of your colored skin and of my background didn't exist. Hitler came this close to most of our viewers speaking German. And that was a real concern. As a matter of fact, at one time, J. Edgar Hoover, who was head of the FBI at that time, had rounded up 26 spies that landed on Long Island from submarines. They call these spies the fifth column. They'll penetrate our organizations, our labor unions, and really wreak havoc. That was a major concern. So when they decided that perhaps we can help some of these Jews that are being slaughtered over in Europe, how about, here's a proposition, how about if we bring 20 to 30,000 children, babies, toddlers, the adults, maybe one of them might be a spy, but not babies, 20 to 30,000 Jewish babies. Well, I will tell you, it was in committee for several weeks in 1939, in the spring of 1939. A ship called the St. Louis with 937 Jewish refugees lay at anchor in the Miami Beach harbor waiting permission to come in. Right about then was when the commission was